Less than a month remains of Charlton's 25-26 campaign, but there is still plenty left to play for. It certainly has been an action-packed month for Nathan Jones and his side, including the Easter fixture list. So lots to talk about in today's show. Here is what we've got coming up. We'll take an in-depth look back at Easter Monday's 1-1 draw with Watford. We'll take a stroll down memory lane to look at some Jason Euell highlights ahead of his visit to the Valley on Saturday. And we'll talk proposals after Tony and Andrea got engaged on the pitch here at the Valley on Good Friday. Well, delighted to say we are back here in the Charlton TV studio at the Valley. There's Stevie Brownie, Kev Lisbie, and of course Sir Alan Curbishley alongside me. Look, we'll come on to that marriage proposal in just a bit, but that's a lovely touch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nick Brown. Three married men.
I think Mandy would have just walked off.
I knew I shouldn't have.
I swear to God, if I had done it to Mandy, he should have walked off.
We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. Anyway, Brownie, I do want to start with you because actually we've all been around the globe, really, haven't we? Or most of us, anyway. You've been to America?
I have, yep, linking up with an ex-player in my command, and there's a couple of nice little links, I think, coming from that particular week that I've just had there. Yeah, there's a really good link with North Carolina College, and there could potentially be a very good link to the Dallas Cup over in Texas, yeah.
Brilliant. Mike in good form? Gina there as well? Did you see Gina?
Gina was there, yeah. I think the only woman I'm more scared of than Mandy.
we shall move swiftly on. Curbs, you in the same continent, but a bit further south, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, Mexico. Yeah, lovely. I sent you a few photos back, but you've ignored them.
I didn't ignore them. We answered back.
Curbs cans in the pool.
Yeah.
I sent it to Robert Lee, really, because he gets the ump most.
I did send a text this morning on the group and I said, look, send the photos in and maybe we could put them up, but no one put them in. So I was actually very fortunate to be in Madrid to cover the Atletico Spurs game and also the Real Madrid's Manchester City game, and then I went to Malaysia. So you had a picture of my feet as I was sunbathing and that, which we normally get from Curbs, to be honest with you. So it's my little dig back at Curbs. Some of us go away as well. Liz, you haven't been away, have you? You've been working hard.
Sunny Kidbrook.
How's it been going as manager?
Yeah, it's all right. We're still in the bottom four, but we've picked up 2 wins. We've done 2 wins in a row the other day, and then obviously lost against Cray Wanderers, our local rivals, on what was that, Monday? What we today? Yeah, Monday. So that sort of.
That's what happens, Liz. You lose track of all day.
Do you know what I mean? And I've got grey hair. If you zoom in, I've got one grey hair now.
I lose track when it's Christmas and Easter, but I think it could be you just being a manager now.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a few now. But listen, as I spoke to Brownie
we had a good chat yesterday.
Yeah,
we had a great chat.
I was feeling down and back myself. And
Already?
Yeah, and then Brownie sent me a lovely message to make me feel worse about myself.
Brownie, mentoring.
It was a belter.
It was
one of my better voice notes.
No sharp objects after listening to one of his messages.
Such a good friend.
I'm sure. But seriously, how are you finding it though? I mean, obviously it's going to be tough, and you in at the deep end.
I think I knew the challenges that I was walking into. They hadn't won in 10 games, and they were in the bottom 4. And there's different sort of challenges that come with that. But when you take the job, you have to appreciate what you're walking into, and I did. And yeah, I'm loving it, and hopefully I'll have it again next year.
What's the biggest shock that has come to you, or surprise?
Lack of sleep,
should we say? As being a manager,
the lack of people turning up to training. It's a completely different world. I'm used to everyone turning up all the time, but these boys, to be fair to them, they've got different jobs, different commitments. So, as I said to Brownie yesterday, you could set up a session and then get a phone call half an hour before training starts that obviously work commitments and they can't make it. So you have to adjust. But as I said before, I'm loving it and enjoying it.
Good. Do you ever get that, Curbs, half an hour before? And I can't make it today, Gaffer. I'm not going to be in training.
Not really.
No, not at all.
A little bit different. Okay, we'll talk about more football in a bit, but I want to start with a quiz and a star performance from the one and only Stevie Brownie. Look at those teeth. They're coming out there, aren't they, with a big smile. We don't praise you much, Brownie, I have to say, but before you do talk, let's have a look at what we're talking about with the Meantime quiz.
Steve Brown, you have 60 seconds to answer questions on Charlton Athletic, past and present. Are you ready?
Ready. Far away.
3, 2, 1. Who is Charlton's all-time goal scorer?
Derek Howells.
168 goals, correct. What year was Charlton Athletic founded?
1905.
What was Charlton's first home ground called?
No idea.
Answer is Siemens Meadow. Which striker scored 18 league goals in the 2005-2006 season?
Dan Bent.
Which Charlton players scored against Arsenal in a 4-2 win in 2001?
What? Sorry, me, Steve Brown. No?
And who else, Brownie?
Klaus Jensen. Jason Euell.
Correct.
Home goal.
Which fish is linked to Charlton's nickname?
Haddock. So, Haddock.
Correct. Who was Charlton's top goal scorer in the 2024-25 season?
Godden.
Which former player earned the most England caps while with Charlton?
Powell.
No, incorrect. It was Luke Young, 7 caps. Who was Charlton's manager when they won the 2018-19 playoff final?
Lee Bowyer.
Correct. Who did Charlton beat in their opening game of the 2025-26 season?
Watford.
Correct! Right on time, well done, Brownie!
That's so good.
Yeah. Good effort.
And
Someone commented, because I got screenshotted it by somebody in upper management saying, you look like Jim Rodwell. And I said, well, I wake up like that. Jim spends thousands looking at me. So he'll be devastated.
That's actually very good for you.
He's been thinking about that.
No, he didn't actually get a proper message. He just made the
No,
whole thing
I did.
up.
I can show you after. I've definitely got it. Yeah.
Are you proud of him, Curbs? Proud of your boy doing so well in the quiz?
Oh, hold on. He's so proud that last week he went, I know what it feels like to be a late sub now. I feel like Brownie. Don't worry, that's got back to me. Don't worry about
Wasn't
that.
you there?
No, I
I
weren't
kept
there.
saying it.
No.
I am a sub.
I heard
well,
about
he's
it.
got me as a sub, but well, he's used to that, you know.
To be fair, I mean, Liz, they were easy questions, though. Your and mine were much more difficult, weren't they?
I felt so. But and also Brownie's he's a legend at this club. He knows the ins and outs, and I'll give him that. We won the other one though, didn't we? The unofficial one upstairs.
We won the rehearsal.
Yeah.
well,
So we'll give
unfortunately,
Brownie
it doesn't count. Anyway, let's move swiftly on. We don't like complimenting Brownie, do we?
No.
Liz, we were going to show your effort as well, but the production team got the email from you demanding that if it came on, you'd walk off. So instead, somehow managed to persuade Meantime to allow you to talk about that hat-trick again. Here we go.
There we go.
Kevin Lisbie, we will be showing you some Charlton Athletic goals, and you need to tell us when you think the goals were scored. How do you think you can do on this?
You mean guess?
Let's take it away.
I actually think I'll do alright. I think I'll do alright.
Okay, let's show you the first goal.
Okay. Do you want me to guess?
Yep.
30 minutes.
31! Commentator's done you there.
The other one was 31, so I'm going to say 39 minutes.
41.
Oh, for crying
Not bad.
out loud. 41. Get all three wrong. Wait, see if the commentator says it. 78 minutes.
It was the 82nd minute.
Was it? Oh. It was about 25 years ago, wasn't it?
What a hat-trick though. That's
Oh, all right, Liz, you scored a hat-trick against Liverpool.
Still won't
honestly.
let him in the ground.
That's on my that's on my Instagram. If anyone
It'd
wants
be
to
like
see
that. There I am. Please let me in.
Let me in. Who are you? I scored a hat-trick against Liverpool.
Let me just, Mr. Lisbie, we allowed you in ages ago. No, I just want to show you this goal again.
Cheers, thanks, Les.
No, you should be. Honestly, I'm sure your kids are fed up of watching it.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll do even better. But
100%.
well done, mate. Well done. Listen, before we move on, we were at meantime having a few drinks as well. And while we were doing that, Curbs, you were honing your acting skills.
I ain't seen it.
Let's take a look at this.
I've not seen it, actually. Right, listen up. Eyes on me. Every one of you in here, you've got people counting on you. You've got your friends and your family who want to see you at your best. And if you're off your game, it shows. It's as simple as that. Listen, I've been around this game long enough. I know that all them little small choices, they soon add up. Don't get me wrong. Go out and enjoy yourselves. But some of yous are playing well above your level and you don't realise it. And think about your performance. The last couple of days were weeks. Is that really where you want to be? So, if you don't know where you stand, take the drinking check.
Right. Thank you, Alan. And if you'd like to follow me, we'll continue the tour.
Know your score and stay sharp. Closer, get together! Deny the space! Get round the back! Perfect.
Cheers.
That was actually quite good.
First time
First
you've
time I've
seen
seen
that?
it, yeah.
Premiere for you. How do you feel?
That was decent, man.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I like that.
I got a call from the league managers the day before, because they're supposed to have had another manager who let them down. So Richard Bevin said to me, will you please go to Wimbledon?
Was you sub again?
Yeah, I was a sub.
Subbed in again.
I wasn't sub a lot,
Common theme, yeah?
but it was worth being sub, let me tell you.
I'm sure I know what you mean.
Mine weren't.
Don't say that.
God,
Tax
yeah.
man will get involved.
Yeah, well, he's going to give up. Anyway, Richard Bevin said to me, can you help us out? You're in London, can you get there to Wimbledon? I was really surprised by the ground.
Yeah, it's nice. Isn't it?
Yeah, all them houses
nice.
around it, all flats and whatever. And yeah, done the advert.
One take wonder, as normal, with Curbs cans?
Yeah, done it.
Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I had a bit. That was good lads, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I can
that's the first time I've seen it.
I
Yeah.
can use that speech in one team on Saturday.
Liz, do you recognise those words?
No, we'll do after Saturday.
No. You've got to put a few F's and the B's in it. And
Yeah.
He's becoming a very good actor, haven't he?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Curbs cans and everything else.
Yeah. You did one. You did one like was it NFTs? What were they called? Those things that you did one with Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that was a good
Bellboy
one.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Bellboy one, yeah.
Very, very, very good. Okay, thank you very much, by the way, to Meantime for hosting us for those bits before Christmas, and hopefully there will be some further down the line, unless
And Jameson's.
and Jameson's as well. But James, that wasn't to do with us. We just wanted to chat.
Well, it's the Football League.
Yeah, okay, it's the Football League. But Meantime, thank you. And if the big time Charlie over there, Ray Winston, isn't doing any acting, then we'll get him involved in that as well. Okay, while we're on quiz questions, actually, Brownie, here's one for you. Feeling the pressure?
Yeah, a little, but go on.
How many seconds was Matty Godden on the pitch before scoring against Watford on Easter Monday?
It wasn't long. 22.
Higher.
Oh, okay, 45.
Higher.
Oh no, miles wrong. Over a minute then. Minute 20.
Minute and 6.
Okay.
66 seconds. Okay, let's have a look at the game now, shall we, as well? What did you make of it as a whole?
I thought we were excellent first half in terms of being on the front foot. We created a few opportunities. They did as well, to be fair. You'll see Man U make a couple of really good saves. I think they hit the crossbar at some point as well. But we gave as good as we got. I thought first 45. I think Doherty hits the post, and we have a couple of great opportunities where we don't test the keeper. I think, which is probably a bit of a letdown from our perspective. I think this is the post one, isn't it? Yeah. So it could have been a goal either way to each side. But the fact of the matter is we were competitive. But I did feel that second half, Watford got on top of the game a little bit. They had I think they had something like 24-5 shots at goal second half, something like that. But we've done well to get our noses in front from, again, this finish. The positions he takes up, Kev will appreciate it in terms of he reads flick-ons, he gets in the right areas, and then the chest control and getting the right foot above the centre line and direct it into the corner is as good as you'll see.
Good crowd.
Yeah, it was it was a lovely day, good crowd, and the first half I thought was very entertaining. But you talk about goals, you wait till you see there. This guy came to life second half. He's got a name that unless it's in front of me, I can't say it. Right.
Yeah,
But you know, they got a midfielder called Lucy. You'll see he's passing in a minute, and I think Curbs will appreciate it. It's outside the left, outside the centre half, but inside the centre forward, and the finish is good as well. But they found Mannion in very good form. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's a belter in it. Yeah. And then bang, the power just beats Mannion on the far side. It's a good finish. It's a really good goal.
Curbs, Watford has some good players and flirting with the playoffs, but not quite in the end. How do you feel Nathan would feel about that point?
Oh, it's a big point. I think that over the last couple of weeks, we took a point a game, and looking at the opposition that we've had, I mean that's good enough. And looking where we are, I think we got a little bit carried away when we were 7 for 8 from top, thinking here we go, Premier League or whatever. And I think probably got a little bit too worried when we were 7 from bottom. I always felt that our defensive qualities, I'm not taking it away from the other side of it, but I think our defensive qualities was always going to hold us in good stead. We can keep clean sheets, we make it very, very difficult. I think the trick for Nathan and the side going forward is going to add a little bit more going the attacking bit. Yeah,
risking maybe losing a little bit of the defensive side to try and be a bit more creative.
What bit you lose or
the
whatever.
Balance is tough.
Yeah.
Talk us through the goal, Liz. Some goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, both of them were great finishes, and as Brownie said, I mean, our goal, it's no coincidence he's in the box by himself. Good strikers always looking for that space in the box in between defenders, and it just causes confusion. If you're in between them, they sort of leave it up to each other, and then after he has a first touch like that, and as Brownie says, once he gets his knee over it, that's all he has to do. I think once he just concentrates on getting his knee over it, I don't think the keeper's ever going to save that. And he's a proven goal scorer. And
sorry, Kev, there's a bit of relief there, just on that scream there. There's a bit of relief because it's the direction he gets as well. It's so accurate. I'm not even sure he looks up. He just instinctively knows where he is in the pitch, so knows exactly where it needs to go. But he when I say should have scored, he had an opportunity to score in the game before, and the keeper made a brilliant save, and he was gutted, absolutely gutted. So that's what that scream was there. That's relief of some tension, I would have thought, because he drove home a bit down, I think, after the miss.
And believe it or not, it's his first goal since scoring that goal against Wycombe Wanderers here in the playoff semi-final back in May. And Brownie, you know him well, don't you? So how pleased are you for him?
Really pleased, because do you know what? He's in the last year of his contract, and I don't know if I can go into what's gone on with Matty, but there's been complications in the surgery, and I think he's a little bit upset by how long he's been out, which probably shouldn't have been the case, and that's affected an individual who's in the last year who would love to have stayed here, who wants to stay here. Now, hopefully the club, offer him another year, but if they don't, the reasons will be because the surgery wasn't quite where it should have been. So I feel for Matty, and fingers crossed for him, because we all sit here having been in situations where we want an extension on another year, and you're fighting right to the end to get it. So fingers crossed for him. But yeah, it's been a tough year for him.
I said it in pre-season, I knew he was injured, he'd be out for some time, that he would be one of the stars of the season. So disappointing the way the injury's gone, he's not been able to do that. And Curbs, knowing he is in the last year of his contract as well, just how important is it for Nathan that he's back now and looks like he's capable of scoring goals like that?
The recovery, he was pushing himself because of that his contract's up, and he's only got a couple of months, and to try and get himself back and get in the frame and see what the club's going to offer him. Listen, his record speaks for itself, so I would be very surprised if he's let go. I would be very surprised, and if he is, I'm sure there'll be takers.
Yeah, I agree on both of those counts as well. We'll have to see what happens, but hopefully we'll be here at the Valley next season. Great to have Matty back. Another player who shone on Easter Monday, I think it's fair to say, was Euell Mannion as well, and it was quite redemption for him, Brownie, after Good Friday as well.
Yeah, and he would have been gutted because he knows that that's a goalkeeping error. And look, it's a position, unfortunately, where you just can't make those kind of mistakes because it gets highlighted, replayed, hashed up, and that is the one horrible thing about being a goalkeeper, is there is no getting away from it. You can make a mistake outfield and it doesn't necessarily look as bad as what a goalkeeping error does, but he's reacted brilliantly. He was excellent on Monday. I mean, it wasn't just one or two, there was multiple saves, and he made a couple of really good claims in the first 5-10 minutes in his box, so it's good to see him shake off the mistake and attack the next game in the manner he did, and it was a really good performance.
Curbs, it's a horrible position in many ways, isn't it? You make a mistake and then suddenly you don't see the ball for another 20 minutes, and you want to do something right, and then maybe you might make another mistake as well. So, how much credit do we give him for straight after Good Friday having such a good game?
I think
like
goalkeepers have got to have that mentality, because they can make great saves and everyone thinks that that's normal. That's why they're there. But then when they make a mistake, it's normally going to cost a goal, etc. So yeah, he's done fantastically well against Watford, and I'm sure that the rest of the coaching staff would have got behind it and sort of give him a bit of a lift going into the game.
Well, the last time we were all together, we'd just beaten Birmingham City, if you remember that game. Let's see what's happened since. Of course, we travelled to Middlesbrough, not expecting at all to get a 1-0 win. It was just an incredible result, Curbs, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think, let's have a look at the goal. So I think that, we've acquitted ourselves very well in this league. We've had a couple of obviously bad performances, you're going to get that. But from the newly promoted side, and if you look at the other newly promoted sides, both of them have spent absolute fortunes, and one is languishing, and the other one's doing okay. But we're in the middle of that, having like one of the smallest budgets in the league. So yeah, I think that it bodes well for next season. Let's get another result as soon as we can. Then I think Nathan can start thinking about next season. I think we will be attractive. We've gone up and stayed up. And I think if he goes after players, they'll see that we've gone up and stayed up comfortable in the end. And, the stadium, the crowd and everything else, it's a club to come to.
Yeah. Brownie, this was an incredible result, not just because we're playing away from home, not just because we're playing away from home against a team going for automatic promotion, but when you think about the changes that were in the team.
Yeah, and it's the only win. I think Nathan was quite right to do what he did. We'd beaten Birmingham at the weekend, which was a very good performance. And we come into this one, and we got Oxford next, which you just don't want to lose to Oxford in the positions that we held in the league. So I thought the changes were a good move. You got Keenan Goff coming in right side centre. I've changed the back three completely. Keenan Goff right side, if memory serves me correct, Cody was centre and Gillesphey left. And they weren't the only changes, so he changed the entire back three. But I thought Mannion had another very good game in this one, actually. But look at the numbers we get around the penalty. This has become synonymous of our performances. When we get on the back foot and teams have got the upper hand, we do defend our penalty area. At times I think we're too deep, but it works. The amount of shots we give up to the amount of goals we concede is quite phenomenal. They do a good job. But the important bit was they went and got the goal the other end from that long throw you just saw. Yeah, but multiple changes. I think the front two was Leyton and Kelman. I can't remember exactly, but and they got a result that nobody expected. And that week, that 7 points, I believe, was our season. Yeah, we were retaining championship status after that week.
That was a massive week for sure. And we may give up a lot of chances in sort of stats-wise, shots off and on target. But I would assume the quality of chances are not particularly really high. But let's talk about the Oxford game as well, which, it was all the change. We didn't expect the win, but the changes were made against Middlesbrough ahead of this game, Liz. And this really was a must-not-lose game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think, and off the back of that performance against Middlesbrough as well, I think that, we were all sitting here saying, would he make change for that Middlesbrough game? He did, looking at this game, but it ended up that we actually winning the Middlesbrough game, which took a little bit of pressure off us in terms of playing this game, and then all you're thinking against Oxford is not to lose the game, and we did that, and I thought we was comfortable. And look, I think that Middlesbrough game reminded me of the Ipswich game a little bit. As we say, I think we're difficult to play against. We do give up chances, but not clear-cut chances. But we always look organised, and we always look like we're going to score a goal. And we were comfortable in this game as well. And after this, I thought we was okay.
We weren't great, I think it's fair to say, Curbs. Go on, Brownie.
No, I was just going to say, to make a comment on the penalty, because on the day I said that, as a centre-half, that's not a penalty. But he got given regardless. He just blocked the channel, the guy hit him and went down, and you're like, he's not pushed him, he's allowed him to hit him to stop the run. And I thought that was a little unlucky, if I'm honest, but maybe it's a defensive bias, I don't know.
Well, I was at Portman Road at the weekend. I saw a shocking decision at Birmingham, a goal disallowed. So these things do happen. No VAR in the EFL, and I think it's fair enough. I don't want to see it in the EFL.
Yeah, and again here, this is quite an astonishing move. Oxford are fighting for their lives. They've got themselves in front. And this wasn't a particularly good game. It was very tense, very tight, not a lot given. Very few opportunities. We hadn't had a shot on target at this point, and I can't explain to you the decision-making process of the centre-half. I can't. I don't.
Yeah. It's a blatant pen.
It's a blatant pen.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What's the atmosphere
Keepers
like
coming
with that?
to get that as well, isn't it?
What's the atmosphere like there with that stand missing?
Yeah, it's never great there, and they're quite a quiet home support. Our fans, I've got to say, the one thing that stood out like a sore thumb this year, our away fans have been unbelievable. Whatever the circumstance, whatever the result, we pack out almost every away end that we go out, and they have a great day, and they're very vocal, and they were brilliant there.
And I can't let the Charlie Kelman penalty go without touching on it, Liz, because he showed a lot of bottle there, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're in a situation now where, for me, if we lose that, I think we're back in that situation where we're looking over our shoulders. So I think it's a massive goal in terms of our season. But you expect someone like him to stand up and take the penalty, and he done it. And for me, that was the change of our season. I think we was all right after that, and he probably knew how big that penalty was himself.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah.
Norwich up next.
Yeah, good side.
Good side.
Yeah, I think
if there was another half a dozen games, I'd fancy them to get into the playoffs.
Well, I don't know if you remember, we had a chat when we played in Boxing Day and they beat us, and I said they were in a false position, and I think that, like you said, they're like 8th or 9th, or they're around that position.
They're about 6 points
Six
away,
points
I think,
off, and they've had an incredible run since they've changed managers, and it is. Sometimes you see a little manager bounce, and you get them yourselves out of. West Brom are going through it now. They've made their change. It didn't work. They made another one, and they're seeing a little bounce. Norwich have sustained it. This guy's getting result after result. They had a fantastic result at the weekend at Millwall. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. If they'd have changed 4 weeks before, who knows? They could even be fighting like Southampton are for those playoff spots.
How good were they in a day?
Yeah, they deserved the win. They played some good football. I thought in terms of the way the manager set them up as a group of players, that they obviously weren't playing like this for the previous manager, and now there's a confidence to them which comes with results.
Philip Clement has certainly done very, very well, and I'm getting oohs and ahs in my ear because the whole production team are Norwich fans. You're a disgrace, guys. Please be professional. Honestly, this is Charlton TV. Come on. But Curbs, this is going to happen, and you have to bounce back, don't you? Simple as that.
I think that if you close your eyes and think about who you're playing, it's like a Premier League 2, isn't it? The teams that are coming up. They've been in the Premier League, they've got Premier League stadiums, Premier League crowds, if you like. It's a very difficult league. And, from one week to another, you've got a really tough game on your hands. And I think we've seen that with Norwich, we see it with Southampton, what they've done since they come and played here. It's a tough league.
It certainly is. And it's one of those where, is it next season or the season after where there's going to be the playoffs down to 8th?
Yeah, it's next season, I think.
Next season,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember Norwich being in 17th, and I was talking about actually if it was 8th this season, they'd still have a chance with the run that they're already on. Another 4 weeks, as you say.
I can understand that, Scott. Like you're going down to 8 to keep it interesting, and clubs think that they can get there and whatever. But if you're 8th and you get promoted, that's going to be tough. Let me tell you.
Honestly,
take the money and forget about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Rebuild.
I was at Coventry on Friday, and they're the best team by far. They're going to have to spend when they go up as well, let me tell you. So 8th place definitely will if they're able to do it. Yeah. Okay, that was followed, of course, by the visit of Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson. Mm-hmm. You spoken to him at all? Or?
I saw him after the game.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've done something with him a month ago.
Bristol City, of course.
Yeah, Bristol City. But I went home and I said to my missus, God, Roy, he's only gone on 1 and blah, blah, blah. She went, he's gone back in, Martin O'Neill's back in.
Is she pushing you back in, yeah?
I think she's trying to get me out.
Yeah? Eh? You're down to your last 10 million, are you?
No, look at it. I don't think Roy is, but he just desperately wanted to get back in. I think he might have known one of the owners or both the owners.
Yeah.
They're in a bit of a thing. They couldn't go up, can't go down, apparently. And, I think that he's going to buy them a bit of time in fixing their new manager. I'm not quite sure if, mind you, if he does ever so well, who knows? But there is a bit of an age gap. Can you imagine? Can you imagine it? Calling young Liz in, 60. I'm 18, you're 16, Liz.
Yeah.
Well, you're back to being a kid then again, Curbs, aren't you?
Amazing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. But to be fair, Bristol City were good for the majority of this game, weren't they, Brownie?
Yeah, I thought they were excellent value for 70 minutes. We managed to get in 1-1, as you see with that goal, but they had the ump Bristol, and I think a couple of their players got booked because that should have been a Bristol throw-in. But here's the mistake. You know, we don't need to talk about that or highlight it.
You don't see that often, do you? Where the wall jumps and it goes under the wall.
Underneath it, and then it spills, and it's all a bit.
That's why they have someone laying down.
Yeah, it's just all a bit awkward for Mannion. But you know, I would say they deserve, whatever way they got ahead, they did deserve to be ahead at that point. But the last 20 minutes. What's this game where the last 20 minutes went nuts, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it was this one where the last 20 minutes just went nuts. And we had, that's the golden chance I was talking about that you should have scored. It was this game. The last 20 minutes was crazy. It went super open, and we had 2 or 3 incredibly good opportunities to level this one up, even though I thought Bristol were the better side. They overloaded the midfield areas and outplayed us a little bit, and it was, you know, you have to give Roy a lot of credit for you know, getting the result, and he's gone and backed it up with a brilliant win over Sheffield at the moment.
Yeah.
But you can see that it was open. You know, these chances are coming because the game's just gone stretched. It's really, really open. But the substitutions we made did give us a lift, and we did go on and create some very good opportunities in the last 20 minutes.
Whereas the subs they made
weakened them a bit, but they are in a spot of bother. The reason they were 1-8 before Roy took over is they got no centre halves available. Yeah. You know, they're makeshift centre halves. You know, and they've had to sort of shift their team around and put players in positions that don't normally play in those positions. So you know, and if you want somebody who's very organised and good at that in terms of tactics, it's Roy. You know, he knows exactly what to do, and he gets the best out of players.
Absolutely. One more thing before we move on. A little birdie tells me you stepped in like a knight in shining armour for the Q&A pre-match, Curbs. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
what,
and for Brownie, for Stevie Brownlee.
No, someone...
And did he look after you at all?
No. No. Neil Heaney's supposed to have done it.
That's right.
Neil Heaney, who played in the playoff final.
I apologise because I got him.
Yeah, no, right. So he let him down. So Brownie phones me the night before. Will you please help me out? I'm struggling a little bit. Can you? So I leave my family and go and do the question and answer.
Wow. This is Alan Curbishley
not even a
leaving his family.
No.
So
not even a thank
Not
you.
even a luncheon voucher.
Not even a
Kit Kat.
Yeah, it's all gone in Brownie's bin.
Honestly.
I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say.
Anyway, well done, Curbs. That's one thing you should be
saying. I'm so
well
thankful,
Curbs.
Even though I'll give you a lot of stick.
So thankful you stepped in and talked again.
You wish you hadn't got him in.
He's in his element up there, and he's still finding a way to have a go at me. Loves it up there, he does.
20, 30 years on. Okay, let's have a look at the league table now, shall we, and see what that means for us. And look, Liz, you know, we've done the Easter period now. We're at 41 games, 49 points. We're 8 above Leicester City, having played the same amount of games. Are we safe?
What a question that is. Yeah, listen, I thought we were safe ages ago. Look, it's more to do with what team we are rather than where we are at the table. I could still see us winning games, and I don't see us getting beat much. So, I think we're safe. I think we've been safe for a while now, and I'm sure the boys in there, I know the manager probably tells them, look, they could be caught, but realistically, that the teams below them are not going to win the amount of games they need to win, and we're not going to lose the amount of games we need to lose for them to catch us.
Curbs, what do you think, and what would you be saying to the lads if you were Nathan?
Well, no, I think most people talk about 50 points and then whatever. That's okay. I think there's an opportunity. We've been battling away. There's an opportunity now to put a bit of a run together and a few more wins, move ourselves right up into the top half of the table. As I said, make us more attractive when we go in the summer looking for players.
So is that safe?
Oh yeah, we're safe.
Yeah. Safe?
I've been saying it for since that 7-point week.
Yeah.
We've got 2 fixtures coming up that I think are winnable. Preston have really tailed off. Got them here, and we've got Sheffield Wednesday where like 14 losses and 2 draws in the last 16 have started to prepare for League One. So I think if you was to get 6 points from that, the season looks suddenly...
You just get 3, innit?
Yeah, even if you get 3. But the question is, were you safe? Yeah, I agree with Curbs. I think there's 2 games coming up where you've got the opportunity to springboard a little bit and get yourself into a much healthier position.
Yeah, I think the back-to-back wins, Birmingham, Bauer.
Oh, it's incredible.
Were amazing. If you don't mind, chaps, can we just one more question? Just put the table back up again. I just want to ask, because I've been covering the EFL as well, at top and bottom end. Who's going down?
Great question.
Don't say Sheffield Wednesday.
I think
Oxford.
Yeah, I think Oxford will go. I just can't. I don't think they've got the firepower to get out of it, to be honest.
That game in hand for Portsmouth is going to be massive. I think if they don't win,
Ipswich.
Yeah, well, I can see.
Isn't it
Portsmouth
amazing?
going
Leicester City won the Premier
I
League.
think
Didn't
Leicester will be alright.
How long ago did Leicester win the Premier League?
Yeah, 10 years ago. 10 years ago they win the Premier League.
The thing is with Leicester, right? I keep every week saying, "Oh, they win this week,"
Yeah,
and they're one winning 6 or something. Yeah, they can't. And I think they were 2-0 up at the weekend. I think they were 2-0 up Monday. And
No,
2-0 down or 2-0 up. But they
Monday was Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't it? So maybe the Friday.
Okay, but they keep tripping up.
Yeah.
And you
Drew
think,
at Sheffield Wednesday. Got to win that.
yeah, you got to win that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to be controversial. I'm going for Leicester and Portsmouth, even though they've got a game
Oh,
in
okay.
hand.
All right.
That game
You
in
think
hand.
Oxford will get out of
I
it?
think Oxford are actually playing quite well.
Good odds, that.
Very well. Yeah.
That's a pound. Put a pound
We
on.
shall see. I'll bet a pound on anything.
Pound.
Yeah, I'll bet. Never bet more than a pound. Never
I'll tell
bet
you
more
what
than a
I'll
pound.
do. I'll tell you
Never.
what I'll do.
Never bet
I'll
more than a
give
pound.
that pound to Curbs because you didn't receive
He doesn't
anything
need it,
for-
Geese.
For
He
the
doesn't
Q&A
need
bit.
it.
I'll take it.
That's why he's a
That's
multi-millionaire.
why.
No.
That's why he don't need it, because he takes pounds.
Brownie.
What? Buy yourself a new jumper.
No, Brownie. You need to do something, mate. Have a shave.
By the way, are you not hot?
No, I'm all right at the
hot.
moment. I'm not as hot as this guy. Look.
Who?
Oh, you're shining.
Look,
No,
I'm not shining.
you're
as well.
shining.
That's my natural skin. That's just,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, here we go.
what are you saying?
Made a mistake again. God,
I was
dear.
told once it's good to have oily skin because it keeps you young looking.
Oh,
That's what I
you
was
are
told.
quite
The
That's what I was
evidence is
told.
there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on from the skincare, shall we? The game against Watford, there was a proposal at half-time. And while we watch that, we're going to have a fantastic substitution. Charlotte's coming in for Liz.
I'm up here in the Club 1905 lounge, and that is Tony and Andrea. Now, Andrea thinks that they're up here because they've won a competition as long-standing season ticket holders to be in the lounge and come pitchside at half-time for a presentation of a signed shirt. But Tony also has a big question for her.
And just as an added bonus, Tony, if you hold that, we've also got this signed Charlton Athletic first team shirt for you guys as well. But a little birdie tells me that's not the only reason we're here, Tony. It might not be. So, you want to do the honours? Thank you. You going to get down or what, matey? Not only does he have a signed Charlton shirt, but... Will you marry me? She said yes, Danny Blackpool! Give it up for Tony and Andrea!
Well, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I was just trying to think of something really special. And Andrea's been a season ticket here for a long time and a supporter, and I thought we're better than to actually do it here at the ground. And I've got to say that thanks to yourself and your colleagues for making it a fantastic day. We really appreciate the hospitality, and down here on the pitch, been amazing.
Amazing indeed. It was, of course, the Bristol City game. Congratulations to Tony and Andrea as well. I mean, I was nervous just watching it, honestly. Curbs, any advice?
Just well done.
Because
It could have gone horribly wrong.
Well,
couldn't
it
it?
could have done.
And he was taking a risk, Tone, wasn't he? He's punching. That could have gone south quick.
Unfortunately, Andrea said yes. Go, do you want to give us your marriage proposal?
No,
What happened?
No.
No.
That's for the pub.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine is as well, to be fair. It's definitely not for
That's
here.
for the
If I told it on air, it could be a divorce.
Is that right,
Yeah,
yeah?
I get
After
the
all
feeling, I
these
can't
years.
imagine we've got 2 stories of romantic proposals here, have we?
That's a bit harsh. But fair.
So very quickly, I actually proposed. When I proposed, I had the ring case, but I wanted her to choose the ring, so I put a hula hoop in there. So I said, will you marry me?
Yes,
She opened it up. I went, I promise you, that's not the ring. But yeah, that was what I did. Anyway, Charlotte, welcome. Good to see you. It's certainly a Good Friday that Tony and Andrea will never forget.
Yeah, really special. I love this little fist pump in celebration to the crowd there. Yeah, really special moment and nice for them. Clearly, the football club has played a big part in their relationship, and maybe they might get married here. I mean, who knows what's next?
Yeah, why
Proposal
not?
might as well go the whole hog.
Yeah, just hope they don't conceive here. But anyway, I believe supporters have been on social media, Charlotte. Should we move on swiftly? And you got some questions for Curbs and Brown.
Yeah, I do.
Right, okay.
So let me start.
Right.
Sorry, I've got to scroll down here. Okay, so this is a question from Connor. Connor, thank you so much for sending this in. Next season, it's going to be a tougher division, stronger teams coming down, no Sheffield Wednesday point reduction, and the second season in any division, but especially the Championship, can always be tricky. So how do we go about giving ourselves the best shot at it over the summer? I don't know who wants to go first.
No, I was just saying earlier that I think, and I'm not trying to pick on anyone particular, but I think we need to have a little bit more attacking flair and score some more goals. We're really strong defensively, so I think the trick for Nathan is how does he do that? You know, keep that defensive quality that we've got, but you know, nick a few more goals. And you know, I think if we go in front, you invariably get the feeling we're not going to get beat. You know, and so yeah, I think that's where we'd be looking. I'm not being disrespectful to our attacking players, but that's where we'd be looking.
It was really interesting actually because I was listening to an EFL podcast earlier and they were talking actually about what a quality relegation battle it's been. You look at the weekend, lots of draws. These aren't teams that are getting kind of beaten every single week. I mean, I've seen Portsmouth put on a brilliant display, not only here but away at Millwall, Brownie. So is there anything you'd potentially pinpoint in the summer?
I think we've got to give ourselves the opportunity to be able to change the style from game to game, is what I would say, because at the moment, and that comes with strength in depth. You get to a division, you stay in, you've got to imagine there's going to be more money available. If there's not, that makes life very, very tough. But if there's more money available, then I think Nathan's got to look at strengthening where he thinks he can improve the team. But I think he's also got to look at, you know, Curbs is right, there needs to be an ability to go to a more creative side. If we can go somewhere and be more creative with however that may look, Nathan's got to give himself the ability to do that. I think sometimes we've looked a little bit stuck in a defensive shape.
I really like this next question. Out of our current squad, who would you have liked to have called a teammate most? Who do you think you would have been like really compatible with on the pitch?
I think I've said this already a bit before, but I mean, I think I'd probably compliment Lloyd Jones if I played next to him, but I'd like Doc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would have got on with Doc. I think the way he conducts himself, whenever I see him around, he always comes over, shakes your hand. He's always entertaining the conversation. He always gives his lot out there, whatever the circumstances, subbed on, subbed off. He's very professional.
He's such
very,
a
very
superb
professional.
captain,
And I gravitate towards that kind of player normally.
Scott, anyone that you've seen?
Yeah, look, I don't know any of them as
Yeah.
people, so it's difficult for me to say. Lloyd Jones is someone, you know, just seems incredibly dependable and would always be there for you, probably as a friend as well as he is on the pitch as well. Connor Coventry is someone I like, and I think is, you know, from the West Ham days, I know he's a good kid. And Matty Godden, who I've only met once or twice as well, and I really want him to do well. So hopefully he gets fit, scores goals, and hopefully he'll still be here next season. But I agree with Curbs, even if he's not, I think he'll get a good contract elsewhere. He's a really good lad.
It's also really nice for Charlton Sports to hear you both already say a few names as well, so that's nice. We've got a good bunch.
I agree with all of those players you said as well.
Curbs, anyone you would have liked
Lloyd Jones.
Yeah.
I'm going for Lloyd Jones. I just think he's been dependable, massive, played virtually.
Someone you'd go to war with on the pitch, right?
Yeah, and I think his performances, deserve that.
Absolutely. Okay.
That doesn't always work for Curbs though.
No.
No, sometimes when you're reliable and dependable, Charlotte, you get subbed off a lot.
Still keep that bench warm.
No.
Underappreciated.
Yeah.
It's really funny because later on in the show we're going to see some clips of some classic Charlton Athletic shirts, and I actually mentioned this point to you before we came on air, but my football shirt on X has shared a photo here. He boasts of over 3,000 football shirts, of which more than 120 are Charlton. I've got one of Brownie's match-worn mesh shirts, long sleeve. Ask him, why did he always wear such massive baggy shirts?
No, I just think they were massive baggy shirts.
Take a look at him. Take a look at him.
No, I was a slightly trimmer.
No,
but the shorts was an issue. The shorts was an issue every year. That's the first thing you try on. Oh no, this looks terrible. Shirts were always baggy. You look at, I think we're going to see a clip of us playing at Arsenal at some point in this, and the black shirts were really baggy as well. It's just the way the shirts were back then.
Mickey's asked a question about the women's team, but I think we're going to come on to that a little bit later. So let me have another look.
One more and then we go.
One more. Okay, so Scott, I know you've watched a lot of EFL football, Brownie Curbs. One player that you've seen who you think is someone that we could realistically go out and get in the summer to add to our squad? Realistically, yeah. I mean, I'm not expecting you to say, you know, Messi, Ronaldo, someone that you someone you've seen, you've liked the look of, and you think, I mean, Sam Field is a name that's come up.
I can tie mine in with what I've just said about creativity. I really like the guy at Watford, Loser. I've seen him twice. Yeah, I've seen him twice, and twice he's run the game. Or not run the game, but he's had an influence on the game from a Watford perspective. And if there's something that I think we're crying out for, irrespective of whether it's every week, but we definitely need someone with the ability to play that pass that he played outside left. And it wasn't the only pass he played all night. And he gets on the ball and he keeps it and he's composed. I'd like to see someone like that coming.
No, I've seen a bit of Southampton lately, and the Brazilian who plays on the left.
Cienza.
Yeah.
Leo Cienza.
Oh, yeah, and he played ever so well here.
He's a good one.
Yeah, every time he picked
He was
the ball
good against
up,
Arsenal as well.
Yeah, every time he picked the ball up, he scared you. And he's quick and creative. So.
Scott, anyone that stood out to you?
Realistically, no. I mean, I sort of see the top players, and there's plenty at Coventry. I was there on Friday, and there's some excellent players. Like Matty Grimes is I think he's been brilliant. Frank Onyeka came in January. He's been a superb signing. Jack Radoni also as well. But realistically, maybe in a couple of seasons, Charlotte.
Okay, I'll ask again.
Okay, so good fans' questions, I have to say there, and speaking of fans, there was a new photographer amongst the ranks at a recent game. 11-year-old Gary.
Probably the best experience that I've ever had. Hello.
Thank you.
Basically, I just came to a game with my camera and sent them off to Charlton, and now this is what I'm doing.
So do you have any tips for Gary as a young photographer at the Valley?
Just try and be in the right place at the right time and be prepared to capture it at the same time as well.
I'm on the pitch, let's go. Oh, that was a good shot. Yeah, come on!
That's that celebration, yeah? Brilliant. Yeah? How'd you get on with the lens?
Yeah.
Yeah? Fantastic. I mean, what are the...
Wasn't the result we wanted, but what an experience.
I know,
Probably
right?
the best experience that I've ever had.
Well, that's the thing, being here. And what can
My
you say?
favourite place.
Yeah. And sitting right there as well, club photographer only. And that was you, mate. Brilliant. Fantastic stuff.
Ah, brilliant. He looked like he had an absolutely fantastic... A budding Tom Morris. What a legend he was, by the way. It looks like he had a great day, though, Gary, didn't it?
He looked like it. He really enjoyed himself, didn't he? And the photos are really good, weren't they?
Yeah,
you know.
Absolutely. Charlotte, on to the women's team then, who put an incredible effort here on Sunday against Liverpool. Talk us through it.
Well, they pushed Liverpool aside, a division above them, all the way into extra time. I think it was something like 115 minutes it took for the deadlock to break. And it was one of those goals that just kind of oozed a bit of tiredness. But I think more importantly, having a record-breaking crowd down here, supporting the team, getting a little taste of what women's football's like here at the Valley, to be back here for a massive game on the 2nd of May. I think it proved that tactically, Karen Hills can go toe-to-toe with any manager in the WSL1 and WSL2. We looked really resilient. Alicia Endow was superb, particularly in defence. Like is the case in men's, women's, up and down the pyramid, it's about where you can get your goals, and that was the difference in the end. They managed to get theirs with a substitute coming off the bench.
Always about the goals. There were more than 2,000 people here as well, which is the highest attended Charlton women's home game in more than 20 years, and it looked like there was a real buzz around the place.
Holidays, and it means that we are welcoming our junior addicts and our schools partnership children down to the Valley for an Easter extravaganza where there is a party being held at the Fans Bar.
Yeah, the fan activities there were absolutely buzzing over Easter, weren't they?
Yeah, really nice. Again, we know it's a family football club here, but to see the club doing that for young addicts, and I think out in the fan zone, it looked like it was really busy. We had good weather, so it all just kind of built to that picture of what a great day out, Sundays at the Valley, that you get here as well. So really, really nice to see.
And also some new Charlton women's merchandise out as well.
But you know me, I love a little bit of Charlton Athletic merch when it drops, but really nice that this range has been designed with our partners at Reebok, specifically for the women's team. You can see some photos there of it, the hoodies, and I think there's a scarf that you can get as well, which is nice, and all looks really lovely. Not that I'd want to be wearing a hoodie right now today, but
no,
you know, when the
today.
temperatures drop again, I'll be picking one up. I think they look great.
It won't be long, Charlotte. Next week it'll probably be snowing. But let's make the most of it while it's nice now. And you've been filming the women's monthly show today as well. Who joined you for that?
Oh, so we had our Hall of Famer, Kim Dixon. I mean, a Charlton Athletic legend. And it was nice to sit down and spend some time. She joined Charlton when she was 8 years old. She's still a part of the Charlton Athletic Community Trust. A player who's evolved with the women's game, still giving so much. And yeah, recently picked by supporters to join our illustrious Hall of Famers. So yeah, really nice. And we did a lot of kind of previewing this run-in of games, which is so important for Karen Hills' side coming up.
Well, tell us about the run-in as well. I mean, two huge, massive games.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, it's all getting very real now.
Yeah.
So what happened at the weekend was that Newcastle dropped points, which means as an absolute minimum, Charlton will be taking part, hopefully they won't need to, but in a playoff game against the relegated side. But there's two automatic spaces up for grabs. It's between Birmingham, Palace, Charlton. Charlton have Southampton away after the international break, and then here on the 2nd, hosting Birmingham, which could be the most important 90 minutes in the women's team's history for a really, really long time.
Absolutely. Please, if you can, make sure you try and get tickets for that game on May the 2nd. And such a huge game. It's a 2:30 kickoff, and you'll be able to watch the men's first team trip to Swansea here ahead of that game as well. Now, since we were last here, we've had the schools partnership day against Norwich City. We've had more than 1,500 children and families for local schools with us for that day. And Charlotte, it really was a culmination of some incredible work over the last 18 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. And it was lovely to see all these goodie bags scattered across the valley, and getting out there as well to talk to some children, because you never take this place for granted, but when you see the impact it has and the opportunity for people to get their first taste of the football, and I think they came away absolutely loving it.
And you got to speak to a few young fans as well at that Norwich game. Let's take a look.
A good day so far.
It's 10 out of 10.
So good.
I love the stadium. It's really big. It's very fun to meet here.
Do you like the little bag we left on your seat?
And we left a little surprise on your seat. Did you like your goodie bag? What I love is you've got the T-shirt and even your hairbands are red for Charlton. Yeah. Oh, that has to go with you to school on Monday. School in your bag? I get the feeling I might see the three of you back here again. Will you come back and visit us? Definitely. Yeah? Definitely. What's been your favourite thing in your goodie bag?
Eggies.
Oh, what?
Eggies.
Oh, yeah, I would like the Eggies as well. Do you mean your Haribo? Yeah, good choice, good choice.
Absolutely brilliant, and to see the next generation as well. And speaking of Charlton's fan base, ticket sales continue to motor along at a quicker rate than recent years. If you haven't got yours yet, make sure you get it shortly, as Phase 1 pricing ends in less than 3 weeks. Charlotte, thank you very much for joining us. As ever, it's great to see you. We'd love you to stay on a little bit longer, but apparently the sub, he's moaning again. He wants to come back on, so we will. In the meantime, we're going to watch the Goal of the Month competition as well. So we will welcome back someone, I think it's in the script here, and he wrote it himself, has scored more goals than the four of us combined. Just Kevin Lisbie. But Goal of the Month now.
12 yards away from the corner flag. Carey sends it into the penalty area. Dykes with a flick on. Just bouncing around that penalty area. And Kelman bring it down. He gets his shot away! And scores! Johnny Kelman! Only been on the pitch a few moments, but he pounced in the penalty area.
Experience on the pitches. Carey with the long throw in towards Cody with the touch, and Connor Cody scores for Charlton. A brilliant long throw. Finds Cody, just gets the touch. And Charlton are taking the lead here at the Riverside Stadium.
Okay, there's the goals for the Goal of the Month. Who wants to go first? Everyone has a vote. Liz?
Yeah, I'm going to go
You did
Patrick.
score most of them, so we'll certainly hear at the four of us. Who have you gone for?
I've gone for, is it Patrick Bauer, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a great finish, top end corner. Yeah, I saw a few in there, but I felt for me that was the standout goal.
Okay. Curbs?
I'm with that. Bauge or Bauge. Bauge.
Bonnet de douche, Rodney.
Bonnet de douche, Rodney.
Patrick, 2-0, 2-0. It doesn't really matter who you're going to go for now, but clean sweep.
He's clean sweeping it.
What's his name again, Brownie?
Patrick Bauer. Well, you two, we all agreed what we were going to say. You two changed it. I don't know what. We went to Bauer, you went Bauer.
Anyway, Patrick, let's take one more look because it was a fantastic finish. Yeah. Liz, talk us through it. Go on.
Yeah, was he just outside the box? He's meant that as well, isn't it? I think he could stick 2 goalkeepers in. I think he scores that. The
Yeah.
power and the direction he gets in.
Stick to the coach,
I'm
hasn't
in the middle of breaking it down what he's done there, by the way. It's in between his feet. He's not much back lifts and he put it top hand corner. Great finish.
And he's right-footed.
Sorry.
Yeah, and he's a centre back.
The music, by the way, was like being back in Zens.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't want to talk about that. Let's look ahead to the Preston game on Saturday as well. Brownie, how important do you feel this game is?
Well, I think it's important in respects of getting as many wins under your belt as you can before the end of the season. And Preston haven't been in great form. They actually have just turned a little bit of a corner and started playing a little bit better. But I don't know if you saw Thierry's own goal on Saturday or Monday was a belter. One of them would do nicely.
He'll be coming back to
it was the old
yeah.
wild swing that went top corner. But yeah, I just think it's important for the team that they end strong. I think it's important for Nathan that if he can pitch the club up to 14th, 13th, that looks great in terms of a strong finish. You look at the Sheffield Wednesday game. If you get a good win against Preston, you're going into that game with a spring in your step, and you know if you get the 3 points there, you are looking at 12. You're not going to be far off 12 at that point. So, yeah, I think we've got some tough ones to finish. But the next 2, I think, you're looking at getting some points on the board to extend your gap and start trying to push yourself a little bit more to mid-table.
OK, as well as Thierry Small, there will be a familiar face in the Preston dugout. Charlton's record signing, but equally as important, the first ever guest on Charlton TV, Jason Euell.
Yeah.
We're going to take a Euell-themed walk down memory lane. And Curbs, let's start very much at the beginning. And when did he first come on the radar for you as a player that you might want to sign?
Well, I think when he was obviously at Wimbledon, and you knew that Euell could play in 2 positions. He could play an out-and-out striker. He could play off the striker, number 10 if you like, what we've got now. So I quite like that, the fact that, he's adaptable and he could be moved about. And my thing is, I can always remember when he introduced himself. Do you remember when he introduced himself?
Yeah.
Well, everyone, you introduce yourself, Jace, to the players. And he said, I'm Jason Euell and I score goals. And I went, let's hope so.
To be fair, he did though. Liz, when he joined that, how did you were gutted?
Always.
Always.
It's 4 strikers a season, isn't it? Coming in.
It was only 14 then.
Yeah, I mean, look, the one thing about this club, we always had at least 4 to 5 decent strikers, so it was no coincidence that you're going to bring someone in. And with Euell's speech, even with that speech, it went against his character. Euell's nothing like that, by the way. When you hear him say that, and then you know him as a person, it's so different to how he was. But he was right. He's a goal scorer in training. Sometimes he was awful, couldn't control the ball. But you put him in front of goal, and you give him a chance. He's the calmest, the coolest person in the room.
It took him a bit of time to get his scoring boots on. Let's have a look at this game against Derby County back in 2001. And Curbs, Ravanelli, remember him?
Yeah.
He was a handful. I remember playing against him.
Was Brownie,
I was on as it happens, Brownie was on the bench.
I knew it. I could have called that.
Yeah. They had some players back in the day, didn't they?
Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I played against him. In the cup final in '97. He was injured actually, but he was a star player.
Dino.
How good was he, Dino Brownie?
Yeah, he was top keeper. That's even that save there. He makes it look quite a simple save, but he did have a period during 2 seasons where he was just pulling out save after save. When he had the top 3 saves in the country, I think one against Leicester from point blank from a header was a joke how he got it. But yeah, top keeper. Top
good
trainer
as well.
Jensen.
Oh. He'll be disappointed he didn't score that, won't he?
Yeah.
He was really good at free kicks, isn't
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So talk us through this goal, Liz.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Was that his first goal? Was it? You haven't scored in a while, the ball drops down and you just hit it, don't you? I'm sure you had easier chances than that before that came along. But that sat down perfectly for him, and he gets the right connection, he just gets it up and over the keeper, and after that he just went on a goal scoring spree, and he was really good for this club.
It was. We've got another highlight actually. Comes from that incredible 4-2 victory against Arsenal at Highbury. We'd love to show all the games from that game, but I'm being told we're overrunning. so we can't show them.
I'll tell you what,
unfortunately.
As long as they show the challenge that leads up to the goal, I'll take
let's
that.
have a look at Euell's goal then, shall we? Go on, Brad, you talk us through this.
Well, listen, Arsenal trying to break on us again, but they come against a formidable force.
That's a red.
That's a straight red.
Is that a red? The
That is a
timing
red.
of that is incredible.
Yeah,
I wasn't known for coming out the slot and making those challenges.
Dive in like that.
It's a lovely call. But that's what you say about calmness.
Yeah.
So there's an example of Euell. You put him in a pressurised situation, and it's like it's a training ground finish.
100%. 100%.
You know, and that's what made him.
That's not an easy finish either. It's
No,
in
and it's
between
the
his feet. It's in
calmness.
between his body, isn't it?
And he had options there. He probably could have dragged it across his body and gone round the keeper.
When's Klaus coming back?
Klaus has been back. He was over. He was over. Yeah, he was in
Look
good
at
form.
Wenger, look,
He was in
so
good
down.
form.
He was so down after that game.
Do you remember this goal in this game, Curbs?
Of course I do.
It's a great finish.
I went looking for him after the game.
Did you?
Well, normally he'd been beat and like he's all happy and whatever. So I thought I'll go into his room and we spin it around, but he wasn't in the room. He went missing. I said to Pat Rice, "Where is he? Where is he?" No, he's all right.
Bad loser.
But that was their great side, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2000 Invincibles.
Yeah. Great performance.
Yeah.
So we've got to move on now.
Yep.
Can't show Brandy's.
Oh, go on then.
No,
Go on.
I'm happy with the tackle. I'm happy with the tackle.
Let's see the goal. He won't let it go if we don't show it.
I'll tell you what.
Is that even your goal? Can I see that again?
Off the fringe, mate, wasn't it? Off the fringe.
He's even smiling.
Do you know what? The old knees weren't happy about carrying fish here, I have to say.
Have you even touched this?
Had 2 weeks out for that.
That looks like an own goal.
Oh, Kevin.
Let's have a look. This was
Just why can't you say well done?
well done.
Don't be like the rest of them.
Someday though, Curbs, eh?
It's in my eyes. Can't see.
Okay, can we move on now? Do you mind?
Please
Is that
do.
all right? Yeah?
Please do, because,
Okay.
you know, I don't like attention on me.
He's
too
got
much.
hot in there.
That jumper's coming off anytime soon. Okay, Saturday's game is also very important as well because it's the annual PSA testing day. And Curbs, you know, we've spoken a lot about this as well, and you feel very passionate about that, don't you?
Because I went, I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago.
I paid for you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well
Did
done.
you money back?
No, but
There's a theme going on here, isn't there?
but certain age groups, you have to
Over 50,
Yeah, you have to have
Maybe
the
even
PSA
younger.
test. You have to have the PSA test. It's a must.
Yeah.
And it's been driven by Tracy Leeburn as well, and it's really important for people to get involved, Liz, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a couple of years away from that now. Yeah, it's important. When you hear people speak on it and the amount of lives that are saved by getting the test, it's definitely a must.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a man dying every 45 minutes in the UK. That's incredible. Yeah. And if you're black as well, there's double the opportunity of getting it. So please, whatever colour, whatever the creed, get yourself tested with the PSA. And there are very few spaces remaining for Saturday, but if you have missed out, do make sure you get a test booked away from the stadium. And in the meantime, there are still funds to be raised for the testing, so head to the club website and donate to support this fantastic cause if you possibly can. Okay, now also coming up is the Lenny Lawrence dinner as well, here at the Valley, Sunday, April the 26th. Absolute legend. Gave a few of us our professional debuts. Tickets, Brownie, selling well for this, not one to be missed.
No, we've done this one, and it's like you have to recognise your history, and this guy that we're looking at right now is deserving of a lounge named after him, and it's quite right and fitting that the club have allowed me to put together a dinner to do that. There's lots of hard work going on. You know, I just had a meeting this afternoon for a couple of hours, and it's starting to get to that stage now where it gets crucial. But I think I've got to mention there's a fans advocate table, and they want to raffle the 10 places off in pairs, or at least 8 of the spaces are being raffled off. And if you go on social media, that you can apply to win those tickets. So if you want to go and have a look at that, that'd be great. But yeah, I mean, the rest of it is about coming on the evening and just understanding that the period that Lenny managed in was a very difficult period for the football club. Lost our home, and we had very little money, and what he did was quite exceptional actually in terms of the promotions. I call it the Simod Cup final, but I keep getting told off for calling it that. What was it? The old, can't can't remember what it's called, but we got to the Simor Cup final, and obviously Shirty with the 2 goals in the playoff final. So it was an unbelievable period, and then retaining that status in the top division with almost next to no money was a golden period for the club, which led, I think, really, you to be able to, when we came back here, it was a foundation to build on. So quite right that we recognise it. You know, and we'll have a great evening. I think we've got about 15, 18, 20 players coming back as well, so should be a great night.
That'd be brilliant. Good old times, and I'm sure we'll have a really good evening. So please do just have a check on the Charlton website, see if there's any tickets available. Maybe go for those raffle tickets as well. It will be a fantastic night. Before we finish, just an opportunity to look at the month ahead as well, Brownie. And look, you know, these Preston, Ipswich, Hull, final 3 home games as well. In fact, I'll throw it to Curbs. Curbs, how do you finish the season? We were all saying that we're safe. Nathan won't say that probably to the lads. We'll certainly want to finish on a high. But there's an opportunity there, isn't there? Certainly with Preston. Hull, you know, may well be going for a playoff place, but it may already be sorted for them by then. Ipswich probably will be going for top 2 as well. So there's still some tasty games.
Yeah, they are. They're 3 tough games. You know, Preston mid-table. Having a bit of a slump, as Burnley said, but the Ipswich game, there's always a little bit going on there, isn't there, because of the playoff semi-finals, and their fans will sell out their end, and there'll be a great atmosphere. So I'm looking forward to that game. I'm going to bring my mate Keith Birch in.
Birch, yeah,
he wants to come to it. Yeah. So
you bringing Neil Heaney for that one with the Ipswich one?
Neil needs to come back next year. I hope you've got him in the pocket and he's going to come back next year.
I'll have a word of him. He was
very
apologetic with the Ipswich game.
Phone call on a Friday night.
It was at Tarico. Him and Tarico.
Yeah. That was one. Look, Neil only played 6 or 7 games for us, but it's the story behind it, which is why we're bringing him back into the lounge. Because
why didn't you ask Robbo to sub in?
John?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think John's asked to come back in.
No, but he could have subbed for Neil Heaney.
Oh,
As he was
God,
in the final.
98.
Yeah. Sorry, that went over me a little bit. Yeah. I'm sure he'd have been happy with that. Yeah, he would have had a bone up as good as he had with you at the time. But yeah, no, I think the Neil Heaney story is a good one because obviously of what went on. You know, we all sat on that bus for a good couple of hours. Police were called in and all sorts. And it was it meant a little bit more because of how they sort of were in the press at the time. They were having themselves at the time of Ipswich, and it was lovely to get the wins over them.
Tarico was quite leery, and Neil's fist slipped.
Yeah.
But anyway, we should move on.
We'll move on.
Chaps, that's it. Always been great fun, as ever.
Pleasure.
We got time for a debrief? You said you got
a debrief. We'll talk about that down the pub. But I have actually got to get to another meeting in a minute. But we have got time for a little debrief, yeah.
Okay, well, please make sure you get down to the Valley if you possibly can for the game against Preston. Only a few games left, and we want to try and finish on the high. Less than a month to go. It's been a long season. Let's try and finish on that positive note. Bye for now.